Are you grieving? Well, I have some tips on how to make that easier. Hi, I'm Laura from Life Coaching with Laura. And, out of my own personal experiences with grief many times, I ended up writing a book called A Broken Winged Eagle. The story of a broken winged eagle comes from a personal experience that I had in a time where I just felt totally devastated in my grief. And I heard one day the Lord say to me, I see you. You are an eagle. And I said, I sure don't feel like an eagle. And the Lord said back to me ever so gently, yes, but for a time, you are a broken winged eagle. Well, that became the catalyst for writing a book for others who were grieving and to help others that are alongside a griever to know how to help them grieve. And if you've ever seen the cover and ever been curious about it, this is a precious woman who is a chiropractor who lives in Puerto Rico. And these are actual eagle's wings that she had tattooed on her. It came after a time of great victory from a time of what felt like to her great defeat. So one of the things I thought was super important that after I worked through my grief was to work with other people that had come through grief and to ask them to share some things that they found to be very significant. As a personal growth coach, I'm often found working with grieving people. Grief is such a unique journey. It's a journey that a lot of people don't understand how to help us on. And the truth is, all we need is the Holy Spirit, for sure. But there are times that others have felt it helpful to have someone take them by the hand, help them to understand grief, the process of grief, and what they can do to, to manage their grief better. One of the things that I have really made it clear to others, because I have found it to be so helpful in my life and in the life of others, is that when an anniversary date is coming up, what is an anniversary date? An anniversary date is a date that has anything to do with the passing of your loved one, right? It could be their birthday, it could be Christmas, it could be the date of their death, it could be the date of when they were first diagnosed, with an illness, or the day that, the accident happened that ended up resulting in their death. These are what we call anniversary dates. And it's so weird, but it's so true that even if you don't remember the day in your mind, the body does, and it starts to go through this season of grief. So one of the things I highly encourage people to do is to not pretend, right, that the day isn't coming. And this is what we typically do when we have a wounded heart. We just say, I'm going to go to bed early, I'm not going to think about it. Can I tell you, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. What I have found that works for myself and countless other clients is to actually plan something. Listen, it's not like you're going to forget. So let's be intentional about the way that we're going to face that day. So on page 54, I list some ways to honor a loved one who has died. If you're in this place today and you're feeling the heaviness and you want to do something to honor them, but you don't know what, actually, the ideas are countless. I just listed a few, but maybe they will spark your creativity. I list, you can go over old photo albums with family, each sharing their favorite story of a loved one. We often make the wrong decision to not talk about our loved one. We're afraid to make them remember and feel bad, and they're being silent because they don't want to make us remember and feel bad. But there's something so healing when all of us can talk about the person that we loved. I wrote, plan a walk outdoors in the company of people who enjoy being with you. Walking allows the gift of togetherness, but it leaves room for silence. This is such a good one. And this is also really good if you need to have a hard decision, a hard discussion, conversation with someone. When you're walking side by side, looking ahead, do you know that they have found, especially with male to female, it's actually easier to have a conversation that's not face to face. I'm all about eye contact and face to face, but sometimes the most difficult conversations can be had, Lord, walking side by side. Let me share a few more with you. You could mark the occasion by planting a special tree. You can light a candle in their memory. You can send up a balloon with a note attached. You can make a charitable donation in your loved one's name. You can set the loved one's picture in a prominent place at a family gathering. And I really like this one. You can prepare a special recipe or something that your loved one particularly enjoyed. Listen, grief is a journey. If you're on it or have been on it, you know how true that is. Nobody can really dictate how long you should grieve. That's between you and the Lord. But I highly recommend that if you need a companion, well, you can reach out to me as a coach, or you can also just reach out. And if not this book as a great traveling companion, then find a book on grief that will allow you to go at your own pace through this transformative process called grief. And as I always like to say, until the next time, peace and love.